guys,
I'm Hallee,
and I'm Jamie.
and this is Literal Nonsense.
Hello! I'm so happy. I missed you.
Oh, I missed you too.
Aw, I'm seeing your face.
Aw.
Aw, there she is. Wow. Aw, hell.
Hey.
So, so we had 1 week off last week, but we haven't really recorded in probably like 3.
Yeah, a while.
Oh, so I'm so happy. I literally was just like, don't even talk to me. Let's just start recording because I just want to look at your cute little face and be authentic and just tell everyone how much I love you.
Yeah, great. Love it.
Love you
Yes,
so much.
tell me how much you love me.
I love you so much.
Aw, I love you too.
So how have you been?
Good. Busy summer. Tired.
Boring. Don't like that. Don't like being busy.
Yeah. I mean, it was
not fun.
fine. Went to California. Saw my
Oh,
girl
yeah.
Shao. Yeah. Shout out to Shao if you're listening. Yeah, it was good. Nice time away. It's always good.
Yeah,
Sat
time
in
away
the
is
sun.
needed. Mm-hmm.
You know, all the good stuff.
All the goodies.
You know, I've been going to California for like 5-6 consecutive years, I feel like, at this point. So
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, I feel like you're always going to California.
I'm not like a tourist anymore, I feel.
Right. You're like, this is my second home.
Yeah. So people are like, oh, send photos of while you're away. And I'm like, you don't take photos because...
Yeah, I think I asked you that, and I was like, "Do you want to send me a picture?" And you were like, "No." Okay.
Yeah, and a couple of my coworkers too asked, and I was like, I don't really take photos while I'm in California because I don't
Are
really know
you
what's like...
are you like a photo person anyway, or
No.
not really?
No.
Yeah, well, we could not be more opposite.
I think the only photo I really took was like a picture of like these sick ass donuts we got and
Which is
like the beach we went to one time.
that's a valid reason to take a photo.
And
So
like that was a... How was your honeymoon?
it was lovely. So
Messy.
we were gone for 15 days.
Jesus.
So I begrudgingly admit that Ryan was like, I think 2 weeks is too long, and I was like, no, let's go live in Greece. Toward the end, I was like, all right, I'm fucking over it. I just love my house. I think this past year we were talking, like, actually 2 years ago today, our house got its offer accepted when we bought it. And I was like really thinking, and I was like, damn, the last 2 years it was like so much going on, like good and bad. I was like, I think I'm just ready to do nothing. I don't want to plan a fucking wedding. I don't want to plan a honeymoon. I don't want to go sightsee. Like, and again, it was lovely. Like we had like literally magical time, and like now that we're home, we're like, oh, we kind of like, missed the beautiful views and the beach, of course.
Yeah.
But it was like nice to just, we don't have an agenda. Like,
She's in her nesting era.
I don't even know if it's considered that. I think it's just like pure blobbage, bro. Like it's blobbage era. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing some house stuff, I guess, like you can consider nesting, but like even when I got home I was just unpacking all my clothes and like putting the laundry away. I was like, bro, I want to throw everything out. Like I just need a reset. I'm like, I want my clothes gone. I want to just reinvent myself. Like I was
There you
like,
go.
I'm losing my mind. So yeah, it was lovely. Greece was magical. Athens was a beautiful city.
Gorgeous, right?
Gorgeous.
Loved Athens.
Loved it.
And I'm not a city girl, so...
Yeah. I felt like it was just all so walkable. It was like when we were in specifically the Agora, like the big like field.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I feel like I'm in like transported back in time. Like it was like almost like a fucking, what were those books? Oh my god. Oh, Magic Tree House. Like I literally was like, I'm in a Magic Tree House book. Like they like transported me back into ancient Greece. So we loved Athens. Ryan's a super geek for that shit. The only thing I will say is if we ever go back to Greece, we would for sure go like May or September, like off season. Not even crowds, hot.
Yeah.
Hot as shit. Like to the point where the islands were fine because it was very breezy because you're like in the middle of the fucking Aegean Sea. Athens though was to the point where like I felt nauseous. Like I was like, my insides are burning. Like it's like I'm not even
Wow.
sweating. I'm like cooking. I'm
Nice.
baking alive. So yeah, I mean, amazing. Athens, we loved. The island of Paros was our favorite island of the three that we saw.
Hmm.
Um, just great. We had like a little ATV. We just zoomed around,
Yeah.
which was cute.
All the
Yeah,
cats.
so many cats.
I
Yeah,
know,
we had a
so
nice
many.
time. We had a
Food
nice
is
time.
so good.
Food is good.
So
I will
fresh.
say, yeah, I will say, so I was agreed, very fresh. I feel like Greek food though, like if you find a good Greek restaurant here, it's like almost comparable, to be honest. Like
Hmm.
I feel like when I went to Italy, I was like, oh, I can't even get this anywhere else. You know, like
Hmm.
this is like fucking legit. There's only like a few meals I had where I was like, they could never recreate this in America. But most of the food, I was like, we have a good Greek spot by us. I'm like, honestly, they do a pretty solid job. Like,
Hmm.
just because I think like Mediterranean diet as a whole is like not complex. It's
Yeah.
delicious, but it's not like hard to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, so good, but happy to be home. I still have a full month off, so I'm just like and it's like I feel like this week is going by really slow, and I'm like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope the whole summer is so slow.
God, I wish. To be in education, have the summer off would be
I
so
mean,
nice.
this is why I did it. you know?
You're smart.
Yeah, yeah. School counselor is the way to go. It's like you see one kid at a time, and you have summer hours. So life hack basically, if you're
Well,
any of you are wondering.
if anyone is in their college or teen years,
Do it up. School counseling. You do have to get your master's degree before you can even start working, though. So that's a bit of a bummer for a while. So, yeah. But, and exciting news as well. Speaking of our trips, me and Hallie are going on a trip next week.
oh yes, we are going away as well.
How cute is that of
I
us?
know, we're going to Maine. Super excited.
Yeah, I've never been to Maine. That's gonna be one of my. I think I've been to 21 states now. I'm trying. I'm just racking them up. So I'm like excited to explore this new state with you. How go?
Yeah, seafood's gonna be so
Oh
good.
my gosh, I'm just gonna eat.
Lobster, breakfast, lunch,
I'm
and dinner.
yeah, I'm eating lobster rolls for every meal of the day.
100%. Lobster
Like we're
mac and
gonna
cheese.
yeah, maybe we'll figure it out when we get there. But in my head I'm like, we should get like obviously there's lobster mac and cheese, like we want it, but we should like just split these things. So we should get a lobster roll every place we go to and have a contest.
Okay.
Like a rating system. Like,
Okay, let's do
I'll give
it.
this one an 8. We are going to find the best lobster roll in all of Portland.
Yeah, we will let you know.
So yeah, it'll be fun. I feel like we planned this trip before we started the podcast. Is that
Yeah,
true?
this was like back in like January, February, I feel.
I think we both were having a hard time.
Yeah,
We
we
were
were.
like, "Do you want to go away?"
Yeah, we
And
need
then it's
girl
like we
time.
planned it for August, and we were like, "Now we're like doing okay."
I know, it's crazy that I feel like we blinked and now we're here.
Yeah, and I feel like we're both also like better mentally, so I'm like, I mean, it's gonna
Yeah.
be fun regardless, but it's not like as dire of a need as it once was. That's okay.
True.
Like I feel like we should have planned it for like the next month and
I
like got
know.
ourselves out of the funk. Now we're like
Yeah.
naturally out of the funk
Yeah.
and
Well,
we're like
whatever.
escaping life, but it's okay.
It's okay.
It'll be so much fun. And so we're also gonna escape reality today because we're going to Hawaii.
Oh,
Not really, just in our
yes.
book.
Yeah.
I wish I was going to Hawaii in real life.
Same, man. Same. I want to go
So,
see some volcanoes.
oh my gosh, I Hawaii is top of my list. Which granted, oh, I'm pulling things. Sorry. Which granted, a lot of things top of my list. So, doesn't
Yeah.
really.
Same.
The list is never ending. So, doesn't really count. But Hawaii's up there, I will say. Um, and so our book. We're going to Hawaii. And so we're reading The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Yes, I did that on purpose because I am witty. I also felt like obviously the word honeymoon is in it, but like unhoneymooners, and I'm saying they're on my honeymoon, like on the beach reading it, and I was like, is this like bad juju? It was fine, but I was just like, and then I also brought Eat, Pray, Love, which is about a woman who got divorced. I'm like, I
I
feel like I'm
know.
doing the wrong
Yeah,
things.
when I started reading Eat, Pray, Love, I was like, okay, Jamie.
Yeah, which yeah, that's next week's episode. We'll talk about it. But yeah, long story short, they had them. I had them both on my honeymoon, and I was like, perhaps not the right books. But anyways, so this book, honestly, okay. So before I get into opinions, I'll give you the synopsis. So this book is about a girl named Olive and Ethan. It's a love story. But it has a very unique plot. So Olive is a twin. Her twin sister's name is Amy. So Amy's getting married. The book opens up. It's Amy's wedding, and she already writes about how they could not be more opposite. Amy's super organized. She loves entering like sweepstakes and winning free things, and she's just like gets the most out of life. And she's marrying this guy Dane. So at this wedding, Olive is the maid of honor. I said best man. She is the maid of honor. And Dane's brother Ethan is the best man. Now they hate each other. Hate, hate, hate. It's over a weird cheese curd incident.
Yeah, so strange.
So strange. Basically, long story short, because their siblings were dating when they met at a carnival, and she felt like Ethan was nice to her, and then she ordered cheese curds, and she felt like he thought she was disgusting and fat and atrocious. I
Yeah,
guess from what I gathered, descriptive wise, she's a little bit of a curvy girl, which
nothing wrong with
fine.
that.
Yeah, like great. Like she also describes her body as like fucking banging. She's like, I got a banging body, but it's like
Hmm.
curvy. So I don't know. I guess she, a little self conscious occasionally, and she felt like Ethan was
Was
repulsed
judge.
by her.
Yeah, he was like fat shaming her.
Yeah, which this is all based off like a look he gave her. So he literally did nothing wrong,
Yeah.
but this is fine. Okay, so we get to the wedding, and again, same thing. Amy's like winning all this shit. She got like the bridesmaids' dresses off a sweepstake, her wedding gown, the cake, the venue. They're having like a big buffet,
Hmm.
whatever.
Like everything is paid for by something that Amy won.
Yeah, like it's a free wedding
And
essentially.
Olive goes into say that like Amy has like the best luck in the world and I have the worst luck.
Yes, yes, she
And
does say
she gives
this.
some examples of that, but I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Yeah, and so
Oh, the one I can remember is she was like trying to win a prize in a claw machine and the prize wouldn't come out, so she went
yes,
into the claw machine
I
and
got
they had to
stuck.
call the fire department. She got stuck. And
That's
then as she was
amazing.
getting out, her pants like came off or whatever. So it's
Yeah,
like
but
this naked 6-year-old girl like coming out of a
dangling.
fucking claw machine.
Which I mean, honestly, what a story. Yeah. So, okay, as we're opening up the book, it's very, unique plot, but very cliche romance vibes. What were your like just immediate thoughts getting set up?
Okay, literally I was in California when I was reading this book and I opened to the first page and I had to read the first sentence like 5 times. I was like, fuck, I don't want to read this book. I was like, I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate it. And then by chapter like 3, 4, I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. Pretty,
Okay.
pretty good. The writing was good.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just knew like, I was stigmatizing. I was like, oh, it's a romance book. It's gonna be sappy and stupid, and I'm just gonna hate it.
Okay, fair. And so it takes a turn for the worse pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So at this wedding, the buffet. So I should preface this. Olive has a seafood allergy, and Ethan is skeeved out from buffets,
Mm-hmm.
which, I mean, that's a fine stance. Um, and so everyone else eats the buffet besides for those two. They get like alternative meals from the kitchen, whatever. So now at this wedding, everyone starts vomiting on each other.
Literally everybody's vomiting.
That is my fucking nightmare. First of
That's
all,
hilarious.
I would never
The
recover.
bride was throwing up on herself. The groom was throwing up on the bride. I mean, it was crazy.
Oh my
Barf
god, that's
fest.
I think I don't know what is it, emetophobia? What's the vomit phobia? I
I
have
don't
it, whatever
know.
it is. So this literally, like even reading it, I was like, this is giving me fucking
The
palpitations.
only phobia that I know the name of is agoraphobia, and that's like the fear of going outside. And I
Okay.
only know that because I think of Shameless.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's something. There's a vomit phobia. I don't know what it is, but I got it, and this is my fear. Also at a wedding, just a fucking horrible
Yeah,
situation.
that's
Anyways,
terrible.
brutal. I mean, I'm all about winning shit because weddings are fucking pricey, but maybe you shouldn't have cut corners, my girl Amy. Anyways, we can't bash her because she's dying right now. So everyone's vomiting, whatever. So now they're all very, very sick. They get this like weird bacteria, and they're gonna be doing this for like a month. And I'm like, that sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Um, Now long story short, Amy also won her honeymoon. Now it's non-refundable to Hawaii, leaving the next day. Okay, she's like, Olive, we're twins. Newsflash. So she's like, go on my honeymoon for me. You never do anything nice for yourself. You have shit luck. Go to Hawaii. Have a great time. Now, simultaneously, Dane tells his brother Ethan the same thing. He's like, go to Hawaii, we have the same last name. They don't have my picture, they just have Amy's picture because she like registered for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, twin, look the same, last name, Ethan, no big deal. Let's go on this honeymoon. Now they're both like, absolutely fuck not. But now they both want to go, and now they're both just gonna go because they don't want the other one to go.
Yeah, like out of spite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, is it a little cliche? Is it a little corny? Yes. But I'm also like, honestly, creative. The fact that she set up the plot and was like, they're twins. Amy wins things. Like, I was like, honestly, no plot holes. Very unique.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind a little far fetched if it's like entertaining and a creative aspect.
Okay.
How did you feel? Like, that's how I felt. But I'm not surprised by that.
Okay, so going into the book, I had no idea what it was about.
None.
No idea. Like whenever I read a book, I never read the summary like on the
Okay.
back. Like for I don't know why. I
Yeah, that's fine.
just go right for it. Either the title will hook me in or the cover. I hate to be that person, but it's me.
Agreed.
And
Or if I see people post about it a lot, I'm like, okay.
yeah. So literally, I was as I was reading, like I said, like I hated it already right off the bat. First mention of Olive and Ethan like hating each other, I was like, they're gonna end up getting together, 100%. And guess
Of
what?
course.
I was right, obviously.
Right, right.
But like, I mean, like, yeah, it was fine until I got like a little bit like I think they once everyone started vomiting on each other and they were like, go to the honeymoon, and they were like, no, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna go. I was like, okay, I could be down for this for sure.
Okay.
Um,
So pretty early on, because like the vomiting was early. So like you were getting to be down like
Yeah, pretty quickly,
quickly.
which surprised me. I wasn't 100% sold, but I was like,
Okay.
okay, like this is readable. Like it's not like some fucking stupid Colleen Hoover shit, which I hated entirely with my whole being.
And the whole
Um,
time, and
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But the thing is just like she describes like Olive's vibe from Ethan like very strangely, I felt. Like everything was based off an assumption of like you said, the look that he gave her. And I was like thinking about it and I'm like, it's literally giving Edward Cullen in Twilight when like they're in bio class and she walks in and like the fan
Yeah.
like blows her scent towards him and he like looks like he has to like cover his mouth and like needs to vomit. I'm like, why is this like that was like the
Right.
first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, like it's just like, yeah, you're basing, like you're assuming so much based off one simple interaction.
Yeah, and I mean like they talk about that later in the book.
Correct,
Like,
yeah.
we'll talk about it later, but like um yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
cool. I was like, okay, it's summer, like why not read like a story set on like a tropical island, like why not, fuck it. I was
Yeah,
like,
good vibes. I feel like good vibes.
you
If you're
know.
going on a fun like resort vacation and enemies to lovers, like
Mhm.
I'm pretty on board with this.
Yeah,
And
I
like I
mean
said, I
like
thought it was unique. Like I was like into the plot because I was like, wow, this is a really creative way to do this.
yeah, it was a creative way to do enemies to lovers for sure. I mean, I also was kind of wary as well because the last two books that you made us read was not about. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, Jamie, I'm kind of questioning your opinion on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I actually forgot. So okay. Also to preface, I've read this before, and Hallie has not, which is a pretty obvious
Hmm.
thing to say. Um. So yeah. So I forgot how much I really like this book. So I was like really just overjoyed reading it again. So they go to Hawaii. Now the plot thickens as if we didn't have enough funsies going on. So she's getting a massage. She's like, ooh, all inclusive. Like, and they kind of agree, like, we'll just vacation separately. Like, no big deal.
Hmm.
She goes and gets a massage. She's leaving the massage, and the person's like, oh, Mrs. blah, blah, blah. Like, Ethan and Dane's last name.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she has been unemployed for months. She gets a job offer in the airport going to Hawaii. So she's thrilled. She's pumped. She's happy. And she's like her dream job. Not really, but like it's like the company she really wanted. Now she's leaving the massage, and the fucking boss of the company, like that owner,
Hmm.
walks out, and he's like, Olive, and she's like. And the lady was like confused, and she
Hmm.
didn't want to lie and like get caught on this honeymoon. She's like
Yeah.
terrified of being like sent home, and so she's like, yeah, I just got married. Crazy. Mind you, she's like literally just like she's not married, obviously.
Okay, but like I was
Um,
also confused by the. Okay, now this is where I feel like my like technicalities start to come in.
yeah,
And with like any contemporary book, I feel like I always have this hang up where it's like I start to analyze too much
right, right,
because like for whatever reason, if you're giving me the real world, like give me like actual real world scenarios. And like I don't know about you, but going on a job interview, the boss of the company is not fucking coming to meet you on your fucking first interview.
right. Yeah, it was like a small company. It seemed like it was very like niche, like sciency medicine.
I guess
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Well, just I was like, okay, like whatever. But for
I
whatever
mean,
reason, like the far fetched shit, like in fantasy, I'm like I fucking gobble it up.
so I'm not the opposite. I think fantasy, right? I get almost frustrated with fantasy. Far-fetched, fine. When SJM started taking a lot of liberties with far-fetched, I was like, or like lazy writing, I was like, girl, you literally can write anything in the world and make it happen. Like, cause the universe is the limit,
Hmm.
you know? So I get almost annoyed with that because I'm like, don't do bullshit. Like, you can literally make a new world, a new language, make it make sense. In reality, I need it to be, based on reality like this. Like her boss being there, I think it's entertaining. Um Also the fact that she lied, like I'm socially awkward and hate confrontation. I for sure would have lied as well and just put myself in a fucking horrible situation like this. Um so I didn't mind that. Like I thought it was funny.
Hmm.
Would it happen in real life? Like the chances are slim to none. But like it could,
Yeah.
like so I'm almost the opposite, I feel like, with fantasy. Like I'm almost like when she's making up crazy black hole or like everything lines up so conveniently, I'm like, all right, like realistically someone would die.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that's kind of my thought on this. I just think also romances are like always gonna be like the most cliche typical things, but they're so fucking hysterical most
Hmm.
times. So so then the boss, he like is like, "Oh my god, it's our last night. Please come have dinner with my wife and I." And I'm like, "Oh fuck." And she can't say no.
Yeah. So now she has to like figure out a way to like con Ethan into getting dinner with her new boss
Yeah.
and like to pretend he's like the doting husband.
Yeah, and so they go.
They go and they see Ethan's ex there. That was crazy. That made me giggle.
And what, they only broke up like 6 months ago?
Yeah, it was like
Something
still
crazy?
fresh and
And
like
she's engaged.
and she yeah, so she's there with her fiance.
And
And yeah, and
ah,
he was like, "Oh, this is my wife, Olive." And she's like, "Oh, you're married."
which is fucking sick move on his part. Like
Yeah.
this is probably the greatest thing ever for him.
Yeah.
Cuz amazing, you know.
Cuz we come to find out that like she left him, you
Mhm.
know. So,
And so dinner actually goes fine with the boss. The boss leaves. She's like, thank God. Like,
they're like
she's like,
obsessed with Ethan.
of course. But like, they leave. So they're fine. So now the only really complication is our girl Sophie, Ethan's ex. She is just all up in this resort. So now the book progresses and it's just fun vibes. I feel like I had so much fun just like reading it.
Well,
They
so
go
like
on excursions.
yeah. Like and also like their banter too, like how they talk to each other is so funny.
Girl.
And I feel like, honestly there were a few moments where I was like giggling and like kicking my feet. I was like this is actually really fucking funny.
Yes. No, there's multiple parts where I laugh out loud specifically. So their names are Ethan and Olive, but they like call each other
Random
like
names.
he'll call her Oliver or like
Yeah.
just
Olivia.
yeah, or things just to piss each other off.
Yeah.
And it makes me giggle almost every time.
Yeah, it's funny.
I love their banter. This is like my kind of humor.
Yeah, it was good. And like I think when I was like really like sold on the book was when they went to go get a couple massages. So they go, but like they thought they were getting them like together at the same time, but no, it was like a class. So like Ethan would have to like watch the masseuse and like follow like her instructions on how to massage Olive, and then they would like switch. But before this, the masseuse was like, "Oh, like take some time and like relax in like the hot tub sauna thing," and obviously they're both naked because they're going for massages and they're like kind of looking at each other like are you gonna go in first, should I go in first? And Olive's like close your eyes, like it was so funny. And then when they go to get the massages, um of course at the same time they're like, oh, like I'll learn first or whatever. So then like but Olive ends up getting the massage from Ethan, and like he's like rubbing her down and stuff, and there's like allusion to like a boner, and it's just
Well, yeah, like he literally, because he was like, don't massage me. He's like, I'll massage you, and she's like, oh, why? Are you scared you're gonna get a boner? Like kidding. And he was like, yes.
yeah.
And I was like, wow, way to be a honest king. Also, wait, this reminds me, I don't know if I told you this, but you're going to fucking die. Very relevant. So on our honeymoon, we also got massages, and it's like
Yes, you told me.
beautiful. Oh my god, okay, good, because I need to fucking say this. In this beautiful resort, whatever, right? So we get these massages. It's like there's like a waterfall and there's like a tree, and it's like beautiful, fine. So we're leaving the massage, and the lady was like, "Oh, like you guys should really consider the pathos couple massage." And I was like, "Okay." Mind you, pathos means passion in Greece. Learned this. Look at me being educated. So then we're like, "Okay, whatever." And she's like, "No, like you really should consider it." And she's like, "It's more than just a massage. Like it's extra." And I was like, and she was like, do you get what I mean? Like, think about that. And I was like, no, I'm getting what you mean. So, okay, now me and Ryan were discussing this. We were like, do we have sex with each other? Do they have sex with us? Are we all having sex together? Like, I don't know what's going on because, okay, here's the thing. That room was like very romantic and beautiful. So it's like, if they just like massage you and then like leave you alone to your husband, like for sexy time, fine, maybe nice. Or like this, like, Ethan massaged Olive. The massage lady was like, ooh, I will leave you two alone. Like, enjoy. Is
It's
that the
kind of
vibe?
it's like weird though.
Like they're making you have sex with each other? Yeah, I mean, it is a
Yeah.
little weird. Okay, but less weird than
It's like
them
you're like
fucking.
you're renting a room and being like fucking like what if they're
Okay,
supervising you? What if they're hitting cameras and they're gonna like sell
okay.
you guys like on the dark
So,
web and then
so
like
that's fine. I mean, that's not fine, but like, I get what you're saying, but that still is a better alternative than them fucking touching anywhere near my crotch.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
it was like a
valid.
happy ending situation. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You
I
should have
don't know.
asked. You should have asked what that entailed.
And I tried Googling it like on the website and it wasn't anywhere to be found.
It
So it's like a
wasn't offered.
secret.
Well,
Yeah, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's like a secret thing. I was like, oh my God. I was like blushing. And side note also, so when we go to anyone who knows Ryan's gonna die, he's gonna kill me. But I don't think he listens, so it's okay. um, so we go to get these massages and they're like, oh, the disposable underwear in the thing. Okay, fine.
You're really putting your fucking poor Ryan's on blast right now.
It's okay. So we go in the bathroom, and I swear to God, it is like a thong, like both sides.
He
he's
had to
like,
wear it.
and he's like, how do I put this on? And I was like, I don't even know. So there was like one bigger part, but then like he had like a legit like a G string up his ass. Like, what the fuck? And he was, and this is also his first massage, so he's like, I don't want to do this.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was so funny. Bro, I never laughed so hard in my life. His face was just such a bewildered expression. I've never seen him look like that ever in my life. Oh shit. Anyways, sorry to digress, but this massage thing reminded me of that. And I feel like massage experiences are just always weird in some way.
Yeah, they're kind of like awkward.
Like couples massages specifically. Like I feel like
Oh,
alone massages, maybe. I mean, I don't know, like I don't mind. I usually like fall asleep if I'm like by myself.
yeah. I mean,
I feel
sometimes
like
like the vibe has to be right, you know.
oh my god, so funny. But yeah, so who knows what we were offered? Not
Yeah.
sure. Like was it this kind of vibe? Fine. Unsure.
Anything more? That's to be determined.
Yeah. And I feel like yeah, I don't know. And so at this point like you could tell they obviously have sexual tension, but they're also doing a bunch of other like cute activities. Like what did they do when Sophie was
They
there?
went like they went on the boat. They were like snorkeling or something or
Mhm.
scuba diving, something like that.
Yeah, and they're like being cute. Like they're actually so now they've kind of shifted from being like we'll have two separate vacations to being like vacationing together. And it's cute. Like they're having moments where it's like they're still like bantering and fighting. Oh my god,
Mhm.
they go fucking um paintballing.
Yeah, they went paintballing. They rented a car and were like driving along the coast.
Yeah, and I feel like each instance you notice them getting a little bit like they're having nice banter.
Yeah, a little closer.
Yeah, and like or they're having like they'll banter and still argue and like fuck with each other, which I love.
Yeah.
But then they also are like opening up a little bit to each other, which is kind
Yeah.
of nice. And it's like a very gradual thing. Not like I wouldn't say like a slow burn per se, but it's like gradual, and I feel like it was authentic, and I liked it.
Yeah. I liked also too how like sometime after this, I can't remember when exactly in the book it was, but like Ethan's like, I want to do something fun, like let's go get drunk. And I was
Yeah,
like, immediately,
yes.
I was like, well, that's gonna lead to one fucking
Yeah, this
thing.
I feel like is the turning point.
Yeah. And so they like go out, he gets drunk on like fucking 8 Mai Tais, and like she
Yeah,
has
like
to like drive him home, like to the hotel. And he's like, you would think he was like the fucking president. He was waving at everyone, he was shaking everyone's hand, he was like talking to everyone.
which so cute. Like that kind of drunk guy is the cutest guy, you know?
Yeah, and it's
Like that are
great.
just social and like hee hee, you know.
Yeah. And but then he like also says too at one point a little
Mm,
after this that like apparently Dane's been like stepping out on Amy for like the past majority of their relationship. And
yikes.
Olive's like, what? And he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, they were like not like explicit or whatever. Exclusive, that's the word.
Those bitches ain't explicit.
They're not explicit.
And it was funny because you said it and I knew that was wrong, but I also
Yeah.
couldn't think of the
Like, oh,
word to
you're
like
right.
help you. And I was like, I don't know, you gotta help yourself here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically, what does he say? He's like, oh, they became exclusive right before they got engaged. And they've been
Yeah.
dating for like 4 years.
I
And
know. And
Amy was
she's
like, or Olive was like, no.
yeah, and so like she kept like that was always like a point of reference she kept going back to, and she was like trying to make the timeline in her head. And Ethan was like, well, don't say anything, and she was like, how can I not say something, like this is my sister.
Right.
And
Right.
he was like, think about it and whatever. So she was like, okay, like I'll think about it. And then she ends up saying like, okay, like I won't tell Amy anything, like we'll just
Well,
like see how things play out when we get back.
right. And also, like I feel like for whatever reason, like Ethan getting drunk was like a huge shifting point in the entire book. So you find out this about Dane and Amy, which is huge news. He also, in the meantime, tells her like, "Oh, Dane told me to like stay away, like I liked you." And they end up
Yes.
kissing.
Yes. Okay, so
Yeah.
that I was like annoyed about, right? Because
Like not only is
Dane,
Dane a cheating asshole, he's also like a fucking just regular
he's a
asshole.
sneaky asshole. That's the
Yes.
worst.
Yes.
And so like basically he
That's the
was
worst kind of asshole.
and he was like doing this so that Ethan and Olive wouldn't get close, and then like Ethan wouldn't say anything to Olive about like whatever Dane was doing.
Right.
And
Because
Ethan's like, there's
yeah.
at least like 3 girls, and she's like, what?
Well, oh my God, because, and this all comes out that Dane was stepping out on Amy because Ethan was like, something about like a mango. And he's like, Trinity, that girl with the mango tattoo on her ass.
Yeah.
And Amy, or Olive's like, when was that? And he's like, oh, I don't know, like a year ago. And Amy was like, or I don't know why I keep calling them the fucking different names. Olive was like, what do you mean a year ago? Like,
Yeah.
hello? But to be fair, to Ethan was like, no, my brother like legit told me they weren't exclusive. But like,
Like if that's all he knows, then like that's all he knows.
yeah, like which, and again, he doesn't think his brother is like a piece of shit, like necessarily. Like,
Wait, and then it's also crazy because we find out, so like um Olive also kind of has like, well, when she didn't like Ethan, she kind of held against him because like Amy was always pissed because Dane and Ethan
mm,
would always go on these like excursions like right around like really important times. So like Valentine's Day, her birthday, their anniversary,
yes,
like it
yes,
was always that like Ethan had planned these elaborate trips to like Costa Rica or Iceland or whatever it
yeah,
was
yeah,
around these times. So like Amy and Dane couldn't be together. Come to find out, it was Dane who was planning all of these things and
yeah,
dragging Ethan along.
yeah, yeah. So we're finding out all this shit about. So what did you think, um, about like the Dane's? Like, were you expecting the Dane storyline? Did you like it? Like, what was the just overall?
I was not expecting the Dane storyline, and I thought it was good. I was like, yeah, some drama we need. Like I love a good
Yeah.
like little reality TV moment.
Well, because it's also like it's not. I mean, it is about like them becoming enemies to lovers, all this stuff, but there's like an added layer of spice,
Hmm.
and drama. And so the next morning, yeah, Amy is like, ugh, I mean, like, fucking what? What is wrong with me? Am
Her
I
name is
okay? I'm not
Olive.
okay. I know what her name is. I think I just feel bad for fucking Amy, so my heart just keeps wanting to talk about her. Anyways, so the next morning, Olive wakes up and she's like, like she doesn't want to like ruin this thing that they have kind of going, and she knows like by shitting on his brother, like that'll effectively like just be the like cold water poured on their horniness,
Yeah.
because you can't really do that, you know. And so the next morning, like like Hallie said, she's like, I won't tell her, whatever. And then she's like, do you remember kissing me? And he's like, yes. And of course, this ensues just a fuck fest for the rest of their trip,
Yeah.
which I love that for them.
Yeah. Good for them.
The sex scenes were like vague, but like fine. Like
Mm-hmm.
they definitely weren't like Colleen Hoover SJM. Like you didn't like get
Yeah.
like scenes. It was more of like a closed door kind of book.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate that for them.
I mean, I also like I don't read books for the spice, right? Like
Right.
if there's spice added, like great, cool, but it's not like that's a make or break for me.
Right, agreed.
Um, so it's like if it has spice, great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
Like I think it should always have sex because like as adults that's a part of life. But like I don't mind if it's like a closed door sex scene. Like, I'm just like if they went this whole time and didn't have sex, I'd be like, weirdos.
Yeah, they didn't take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, weird. So yeah, and then they end their trip and they go to like the little sunrise or whatever it was,
Yeah,
right?
they like watch the sunrise or something. Yeah, they like
Yeah.
hike the mountain or some shit.
And they have a big revelation on this mountain, which
They
I thought
like
was cute.
each other.
They do, and they declare themselves. That was
So
a
now
weird way to say that.
so now they're exclusive.
Right, now they're actually exclusive. Yeah, and it was like cute. Like there's a bunch of like little cutesy moments. Like
Yeah.
he asked the lady to take a picture, and he's like, "Oh, take a picture of me and my girlfriend." And I was like, "Okay,
Mm.
Ethan,
I
I'm
did
gonna
like
cry."
their I did like their evolution for
Yeah, like I
sure.
think it was just it felt natural. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't like whatever. Like and there was fun parts too. Like the paintballing wasn't like romantic,
Mhm.
obviously, but
Yeah.
it was like they had so much fun together, like and like even the car was like a little romantic, but even like the snorkeling wasn't really romantic, but was just fun. Like
Yeah.
it was just like a good, well-balanced relationship. Adorable. I loved the entire Hawaii storyline. Loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
And so I think what struck me was they're about to head home and there's a fuck ton of book left.
I
I'm like,
know.
wow. So what do we think's gonna happen? What were we speculating? Like I was like, all right, Olive's gonna tell Amy.
Yeah, I mean
Like I was like, this is gonna
some
happen.
yeah, for sure. Something was going to happen. I don't think was thinking too much into it.
I always get skeptical. Like when there's like shit going down and there's like still like a bunch of book left, whether it's like a fantasy or a romance, I'm like,
Mhm.
ooh, fuck. Like I'm just
You
like,
know, I wasn't trying to like place bets or anything. Like I was just really just taking my
you're
time
in
reading it. Yeah, like
in
I
it for the
was just
ride.
yeah, I was like, all right, whatever happens, happens. I mean, like I like it now, so hopefully she doesn't make it so that I don't like it.
Right, that's all that Hallie cared about.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, there was some parts where I was like, all right, like in this, like if we want to call it the third half, third half, third part of the book, like when they come back, I was like, there were some moments where I was like, all right, this is kind of like let's kind of speed things along here. This is a little extra.
All right. Well, let's
Um,
talk about them. Let's talk about when they get home first. So they get home and they're like, "Are we gonna tell Dane and Amy? Like, what are we gonna do? Blah blah. Like, let's tell them 2 days from now. Let's get settled, whatever." And so they're getting their luggage and they're kissing. Amy and Dane came and picked them up from the airport. And they're like, "Did you guys just fucking kiss?"
mind you, they had like signs too, like for
Yeah,
them, which I thought was really funny.
yeah. They were like
Um,
ready, and then they were like, "Mm."
Yeah. And I thought it was so cute too because like they both go home. Like Amy obviously tells I mean all now you have me doing it, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
have oh, God. So Olive like obviously tells Amy like yeah, we're together like da 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 da. And I'm
Right.
assuming Ethan told Dane, whatever. So they each go back to their, separate dwellings and it's like an hour in and like fucking Ethan shows up at her door with like takeout and is like, "Oh, I missed you." And I was like, "Oh, that's so
Right? Like, come
cute."
on. I like him. He's a good book boyfriend.
No, he
Like
is.
he's a good one. Some of them are like
Yeah.
corny or they're nerdy. Or, like some of the books they really lean into like the nerdy
Mm.
trope and I'm like, I don't need it. I need a chiseled
Well,
man.
yeah, we know the type of men that you like. But
Yeah.
and then like
Right.
after that, like I was so then like she goes to have like her first day of work, and she goes in, and she's like, obviously I'm gonna have to come clean.
Yeah, she's like, because I'm now working here and I'm not married.
Yeah, so like she goes in and she decides to tell the truth, and the fucking boss guy was like, I'm gonna have to let you go because you lied to me.
Can you believe that?
I was like, bro, that's so extra. First of all, she literally told you the
Right.
whole reason why she lied.
Right. And she's like, oh, we actually are together now. Like, it was like a whole cute thing.
Yeah, like okay, like if they weren't together and it was like da da da, then I'd be like, okay, you know what? Maybe he's valid. You shouldn't lie, right? But then like
You shouldn't lie.
that's like one of the seven sins or whatever the fuck they're called. And like I feel like when you lie, it always ends up biting you in the ass, right? So
Oh
but the
my
fact that they still
god.
ended up together and she was like, we had such a great time, like da da da, and he was like, well, how could you had sat at dinner and like just fucking lied to my
Which
face the whole
I,
time? I was like, you're being dramatic, bro, because you had
he's
a great
being
fucking time.
dramatic.
Everyone had a
Right.
great fucking time,
Yeah.
and now you're an asshole. She gets so she gets fired.
But okay, but here's my thing. I totally get him. I agree he's dramatic and like this is ridiculous, whatever. Like it's just like a weird situation. You could have all laughed about it. But that being said, it is weird as fuck that this girl sat at dinner and lied to him for like probably 2 hours. Like
Well, yeah,
it's
but
an
like,
icky feeling.
well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would have felt like complete fucking dog shit, but like, also too, like,
Yeah.
she could have said something at dinner or
Yeah, no, that was I think the boss's point was like,
like
all right,
maybe,
you fucking weirdo.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
But
so either way,
like it's
she's
one of those weird situations. Like what do you do?
well, right, and it's weird enough where I feel like I would just laugh about it.
Yeah. But
But he fires
then
her.
but then the plot thickens, so I was not expecting this one.
Yeah, well,
So,
so Olive's doing a good. Let me just preface this because I know where you're going. Olive's doing a good job. She's like, I'm not gonna tell Amy. Whatever. We're letting bygones be bygones. I'm now dating Ethan.
mhm.
Maybe because then her thought was too like, what if this was an agreement and Amy was embarrassed and she was like, maybe
Yeah, she
we're
was
all
like
good,
maybe I don't know things about my sister or whatever.
and that's fine.
Because like in while they're in Hawaii, like Ethan and her have a heart to heart about like why she thought he hated her and like XYZ.
Oh yes.
And Ethan's like, you do this thing where you just assume one thing and you run with that thought and like that's the only reality for you. And he's like, but like in actuality, that wasn't the case at all. And it usually is never the case at all.
And it's also usually negative things. So it's
Yeah.
like she really like almost creates her own bad luck, which kind of ironically ties into last week's episode or 2 weeks ago. Like your mindset and perception and like assuming things is really gonna fuck up your reality. So like
Exactly.
she is like, oh, I have bad luck, and she like does things that inspire that thought,
Yeah.
and like she is negative and kind of cynical a little bit.
Mhm.
And so that was one of Dane's things too. Was like, turns out Ethan was interested in Olive. Was like, I kind of want to date the sister,
Mhm.
and Dane was like, that's weird, and he was like, oh, also she's so negative. Don't even bother. But mind you, we find out that Dane just didn't want them talking because he knew that he couldn't be
Yeah.
fucking 2 times stepping out.
Exactly. And
Asshole.
so then okay, so Olive gets fired, and to lift her spirits, Olive and Ethan and Dane and Amy were gonna go out for like drinks or something. So it's Ethan, Olive, and Dane. Apparently Amy is like stuck at work or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like Ethan gets up to go to the bathroom and Dane's like, oh, like how was the honeymoon? Like da 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 da. And then he like just slyly is like, oh, like if you're ever interested in like switching brothers, like let me know.
Can you fucking imagine?
And
And he's
Olive's
so
just like,
serious.
if I was in that situation, I probably would just like fucking I don't
Swing.
even know. Yeah, probably. Be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, and it wasn't like, first of all, that'd be icky as fuck to joke about, but he wasn't joking. Like, he was like
Yeah.
deadpan, like,
And he's like, think about it, like
yeah,
he
like,
kept like emphasizing it.
yeah, like it wasn't like one time he was like, no, like, really, I'm serious.
Yeah, like ew, what the fuck? So then obviously like Olive is mad uncomfortable. So she's like, fuck this, like I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's going to the car and she tells Ethan, right? Like that your
Mm-hmm.
brother made like a pass at me. And he was like, oh, Dane would never. And she's like, yeah, he literally did. He wants to fucking sister swap. Like,
Wah, wah.
and Ethan's like, I don't believe you, da da da. So then she fucking gets fucking, and she like starts crying. She goes in the car, slams the door, she drives off, like whatever. He's like running after the car. Olive, Olive, wait, wait, let's talk it out, whatever. So then like she doesn't talk to him. So now Olive is like, well, I have to do something. I have to tell Amy, like, this is just unacceptable.
Yeah, he's a piece of
So
shit, clearly still. Like, because I think part of her hoped, like, after they got married, changing his ways. Well, clearly the fuck not. It's your sister. So.
yeah. And so it's like the next day or something, and like Amy comes over like before work or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
And
Yikes.
Olive can't contain herself, so she was like, listen, these are the facts, and what do you say? And Amy's like, that's not true, like you're a liar, like Dean would never, da 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 da. And she like
Poor Olive.
freaks out, blows up, and she fucking walks out. And then also simultaneously, like Ethan's like, we can't be together. So then her and her sister are beefing, and Ethan just broke up with her.
Yeah.
And
And it's shitty
she
because
just got
everyone's
fired
like,
from her job, and it's
yeah. And everyone's like, team fucking Dane. And she's like, all right, I might be fucking cynical, but you're all fucking idiots. Like,
yeah.
and it's sad because they're like, oh, you just always see the worst in people. Like, and they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of like a thing you do. And so for everyone else is like the straw that broke the camel's back as far as like her attitude. But
Mm-hmm.
she's like, no, like this time I really am on to something,
It's like
you
the boy
know?
who cried wolf, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that, but just like with her negative, shitty attitude.
Yeah, but
Um,
I was actually pissed. Like I was actually mad when Ethan broke up with her. I literally closed the
wow.
book and I was like, stupid, stupid, stupid. I was so mad.
Wow. I'm like so,
Yeah.
because that's like the reaction you should have.
Yeah,
So the
and I
fact that
mean,
you are, I'm like, oh.
yeah, and like it's so funny because like there were actually moments where I was actually laughing out loud.
No, I
Like
swear to God,
truly.
same.
And
Truly.
so yeah, so they break up and I'm pissed. So, Olive is upset and then she ends up getting a
Yeah.
job at like her cousin's restaurant and like
Yeah,
she ends
because
up
they're
really liking
Spanish.
it.
What are they? Are they Spanish?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, I
there's like
think
a,
that's what
a
they said.
herd of a family. So like whenever anyone's like
Yeah.
upset or whatever, they're bringing baked goods, they're getting you jobs with Uncle Tio. Like it's like,
Yeah.
like they're like banding together, which I like that aspect of the book as
Doesn't
well.
doesn't Tio mean uncle in Spanish?
Yes.
Uncle, uncle,
I
uncle.
was I was hoping you let it go, but should I ever expect that? Of course not.
No,
I
no.
shouldn't just I do that too a lot. If I mess up with words or like I stutter, I'm like, "Oh, Ryan didn't hear it." And of course, he's like, "What'd you say?" I'm like, "All right, like listen, motherfucker. Can I have like a break, please? Whatever." So,
Yeah,
Uncle John,
whatever
so
his
that's
name
not as
is.
fun. Yeah, so like she has a job, she's doing fine, whatever. So now we think the plot keeps
This
thickening.
this got good. I love it.
Bro.
So like the whole timer it was just like
Yes.
her like trying to rehabilitate herself, like okay, needed, but like I felt like she just was like harboring on a little bit too much about that.
Okay, that's where you felt
C-
like it could have been like sped
But
along.
I think I felt that way because I was like I want to get to the point where they get back together because obviously they're gonna get back together,
Wow. I'm
which is
like my
so like
heart
not
is so
like me.
happy.
It's so not like me.
I
So
love this.
I was like, why do I like this book? But
I
anyways,
love this. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think it was like drawn out, but almost like I didn't mind it because I was like, it was like building suspense. Like I was like,
yeah.
ah.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, the suspense was fucking crazy because there's a
Oof.
fucking dumpster fire. So Amy invites Olive to
I
her
was like,
house.
so.
She goes to the house and Amy's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just want us to be friends. Like, da 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 da. Da. And she was
I
like,
want us to be friends. They're fucking sisters.
whatever, whatever. You know what I meant.
I want us to be
And
friends again.
she was like, I'm gonna confront Dane tonight. Like, da da da. And Olive's like, oh,
Wait, I don't even know if she tells her that. Doesn't she just like sitting on the couch?
oh no,
She doesn't know what's going on.
oh, was that it? Or
Olive
she was
literally,
waiting for Dane to come home.
yes, and Olive was like, because Olive, hold on, because this is just overwhelming. I was so excited. I'm like giddy. Anyways, so Amy texts Olive, come over, right? Like you just said, and then they make
Yeah.
up, and then the whole time Olive is like, so what's going on? And she's like, I just need you here. And she's like, I don't know if they broke up. I don't know, like, why am I here?
Hmm.
Like,
But she
I
does
don't
tell
know.
her that Dane is coming home.
Yeah, but she doesn't know, like, she's like, why? Like, because clearly the fact that Amy called her and reached out, she knows, like, that Amy knows he's cheating, like, whatever. And I think she prefaced that in the text, like, are these the girls? And sent, like, screenshots.
Yeah.
But then, like, she gets to the house and it's not clear, like, whether Amy confronted him or not. Now he gets
Hmm.
home and they kiss hello and he's like, hey, hon, what's up? And Olive is like, oh, no. Like, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
happening now.
Yeah, exactly. So he like goes like to the bathroom to like shower or something, and
Oh.
like the doorbell rings, and I was like, "Who else is fun?" So when the doorbell rang, I thought,
Who's
I,
here?
I thought Ethan was coming, and I was like, "Oh, they're
Mm.
gonna have like a whole big kumbaya, right?" Well,
Oh,
this bitch fucking opens the door, and this fucking bitch walks in, and like after her, it's like the doorbell rings again, and another bitch walks in. It's like the fucking Bachelor. They all just start walking in, right? And and she's like, "Oh, Trinity, oh, Megan, oh, Brittany," like she just starts naming all these people. And Olive is sitting on the couch, like her jaws
like
to the floor, like what is? She's
she's
like,
like, bro,
"Holy
my
fuck!"
sister's a bad bitch. Like
Yeah. So then fucking Dane comes out of the bathroom, and he's like,
he's trying to like
like,
shove the girls out the door.
yeah, he's like, "What are you guys doing here? Like, who are you? Like, go away or whatever." And he's
Right.
like, "I know
Yeah.
everything." And I was like, "Yo, it's crazy. It's
Fucking
crazy."
bro.
Yeah.
And I think the last one said like it was like 5 months ago, but like
Hmm.
still, ew.
Like you're engaged.
Right. And on top of this, Amy is not only a bad bitch for herself, but she's like, fuck Ethan for not believing my
Hmm.
sister. I didn't believe her either, but fuck you for not believing her. So she also invites Ethan, and Ethan rolls up and sees this whole debacle
Oh yeah,
happening.
he comes after.
Yeah, and he literally is like Dane, and Dane's like, I'm ashamed of myself. Like, yeah, okay, fuck you. So
Yeah.
then literally Ethan comes to the door and he's like, Olive, I'm so sorry. And she's like, take Dane with you. Slams door.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Mic
oh
drop.
God.
Yeah.
These two sisters just ruined lives. They're like, fuck you, brothers. Bye.
Seriously.
Wow. So that was, I mean, I loved that. That
Yeah, that
was,
was good. That was good.
I mean, class act.
Yeah.
And they just, and then the whole big Hispanic family comes in, they're cooking, they're dumping his shit on the front lawn. I mean, just chef's kiss.
Yeah, it was really
Nothing better.
good. Yeah, and like story goes on, all of this like, like I'm still working at the restaurant,
Restaurant.
things are going really well. She's like, I've realized that like I don't want to be in the field that I'm doing, and like
Yeah.
I'm so much happier now. And she was like, she's like she really had like a transformative moment, I feel.
Yeah, it was
She's like a whole
nice.
new person, and she's like liking who she is, and she's
Mhm.
not like so Debbie Downer, and she's like fun again, and like all this stuff, right? And then she's working one night, and she fucking gets this couple that comes to her table, and it's her boss who fired her ex-boss,
Yikes.
and his wife. And she was like, "Well, this is awkward." She was like, "I'm so sorry, like I will move you to the other table." And his wife like says something. She was like, "Oh great, like you made the girl uncomfortable, like look what you did."
Yeah, the wife's pissed.
Yeah, like she was mad that I guess that he fired her. So whatever, they end up moving. And then lo and behold, this fucking guy walks in with a fucking crazy Hawaiian t-shirt asking for a fucking Mai Tai, sits at her table, and it's Ethan.
Imagine
And
it
I
wasn't Ethan.
and I right, but I was like, when I read that, I was like, yes, yes, yes. This is the attention to detail that like men need to do. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it's corny and it's so fucking cliche, but I'm like, give
It
me
was
it.
good. It was good.
And
The execution was really good.
he cut her bridesmaid's dress into a tank top
Yeah.
that he was wearing. Like, amazing. Ethan, way to go. So he's basically like, I love you forever. Please take me back. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, how could you say no to that?
And also her whole family's there. They're all like hiding in the kitchen. It was so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, it was
See,
really
again, like, is
sweet.
that realistic? Like, absolutely not. But like,
No.
adorable. Like, and it fit the story well.
Yeah, it was good. I
You
I
know?
wasn't I wasn't as mad about that it was like kind of far fetched,
Right.
because like it
Yeah.
was it was funny. It was cute.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if it's far fetched, right? Even like the fact that she got a job at the restaurant and like so then he was at her table. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
I feel like they just did a really good job of making this like a cohesive like cool. It's strange that Amy is someone who like enters sweepstakes, but like it's just creative. I don't
Yeah.
mind if it's far fetched if you're creative and don't have plot holes. Amazing.
Hmm.
You know? And so then there's an epilogue, which I like an epilogue. Hallie, I'm not sure if you like
Mm,
epilogues in general, I feel like, honestly.
like yes and no, depends. Like
So,
if I know there's another book after,
mm,
and I'm like really invested, then I'm like, yeah, like it's like a little taste.
fair.
But like
And so,
otherwise, like I'm kind of like, okay, like the story could have ended there, and I would have been happy.
see, I'm the opposite. which is so funny. If
Right.
there's a second book, I don't need an epilogue because I'm like, just keep it going. Like, I don't even know what happened 5 months from now. Just give me the next book.
Hmm.
If there's no other books, I better get like a follow up, like 2 years later or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I need to know.
Well,
We get it.
lo and behold, they end up going back to Hawaii, her and Ethan, and Amy is dating Ethan's doctor friend.
Amazing.
Things are going great for them. And they're having
Mm-hmm.
the time of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Ethan starts to try to propose to Olive, and she's like, "You're not proposing right now, are you?" And like, I guess
Yeah.
gave him like a stink ass face, and he was like,
Well, because
no,
she
no,
basically
I'm
was
not."
like, yeah, she basically was like, oh, this is the corniest moment ever to propose to someone or something
Yeah,
crazy like that. And
literally
he was
as he's
going
gonna.
to, which is on par for them, which I thought was cute, you know? Like, I
Yeah,
almost liked that because he even said at the end, like, it was his point of view. And he was like, oh, it was like so awkward and messy and bizarre, which is like perfect for us. Which I was like,
yeah,
oh, you know?
yeah. I thought like the whole epilogue thing was like very corny, but I
Yeah.
was like, okay, like it's fine. Like I'll give this one a pass.
Okay, fine. And so the book ends, they're engaged, so cute. So before we get to our like closing thoughts and like overall vibe of the book, I think there's a second book either coming out or it is, and it's about Amy, but she's not with the doctor anymore. Ah,
Interesting.
I have to
Well,
look it
it does
up.
say like Unhoneymooners, and then it's like number one.
Yes, yes, it does. So but it's like it's also another funny, like kind of how these two met.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a funny, like crazy. I think it's something to do with their wedding. I think. Ah, fuck. I have to look. I'm looking it up right now.
It's like
I
flipped or something.
Yes, like I think it's Amy or fucking kill me. It's Olive and
Oh.
Ethan's wedding and Amy and the best man who's not
Oh,
the doctor. So same situation, but like
interesting.
yeah. So as I'm looking this up, so yeah, so what did you think? I guess what were your thoughts on the end of the book? Fine, tied it together. But what was your thought overall? Give me. I mean,
I mean, I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads.
okay. So yeah, start with your rating. So your rating was 4 stars.
Yeah, it was 4 stars.
Nice.
Um, and I think it was just because like the banter was so good. Like,
Yeah.
and it was a creative story for sure. So I feel like because it was like not like so sappy romantic, it was more like funny and corny, but like not corny like ugh, like corny like oh that's like kind of it's like a funny corny.
Right.
Um,
No. Yeah. I
I liked
totally
it.
agree.
So yeah, I thought it was a solid book. Like I've recommended it to a few people since.
Wow. Okay. Oh my God. Yes.
Hmm.
So I also gave it 4 stars. Again, I think the writing was great.
Yeah.
I think I just like a good creative plot. Like again, most romance follow the typical trope of enemies to lovers or friends to lovers or whatever. And usually it's like at a lake or fucking your childhood friend or whatever. I
Yeah.
liked this. This was unique. Like I was like, ooh,
Hmm.
this is something I've never seen before. So I didn't mind it. And again, I also love the Hawaii vibes. Like sexy, fun, flirty, summery, amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so I also gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. And I thought it was a fun summer book. Like I really enjoyed it. I agree with Hallie. I literally was like giggling. I actually just ordered her other book, Love in Other Words, because I was like, ooh, I just like how she writes. Like I want to just have a fun time again.
Yeah. Well, so that was a thing, right? So like after I finished the book, you get to the end and usually like they have like the information on the author. So I didn't know that Christina Lauren was like the pen name for two writers.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not one person. And I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, wow." And like to me that just showed even more skill because like they were able to cohesively write. You know what I mean? Like 'cause
Yes.
sometimes like when you have like two authors, like you can tell when the writing is switching.
Right.
But I feel like this was very cohesive. I mean, I don't know how they wrote the book, but like
Right.
overall, like everything like was seamless. No plot holes, like it was good.
Yeah. No, I
So
completely
it
agree.
was so much so that when I went to Barnes and Nobles to pick up because I'm reading Dune right now, so I had to pick up the
Yes.
second book. Um, I actually walked through the romance section, which I never do,
Wow. You're
and
like a new person.
and I looked for their other books. And
Wow.
I was looking to get The Paradise Problem because I've also heard really good
Yeah.
reviews about that, but I
Same.
couldn't find it. And then I was like, I'm over it. So,
So
yeah.
I will say with the Paradise Problem, I actually looked that one up as well. I've heard Love and Other Words is good and the Paradise Problem. I speculate I'll like the Paradise Problem better because I think same kind of vibe of like tropical type thing.
Yeah.
But it's right now it's their newest release, so it's only hardcover.
Gotcha.
So I personally have all paperbacks of the other two, so I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, then I won't get
Um,
it.
I also just looked up the honeymoon on Honeymooners sequel.
Hmm.
So it's called the Honeymoon Crashers, but it's an audio original. So I don't know if there's even a book, which is interesting.
Hmm.
Basically, it's their wedding. They're having their wedding in Maui, and obviously, Amy's the maid of honor. She secretly flies out the whole family to surprise them because they wanted like a small eloping ceremony, and Amy's like, haha, just kidding. Um, so now she's like organizing this whole wedding, like
Yeah.
without Olive even knowing. And now Ethan's best man, who lives in Maui, his name is Brody, which amazing,
Hmm.
and he insists on helping. And so like he's like happy go lucky, like super type B, whereas Amy obviously is very type A.
Yeah.
Um, and so basically, yeah, that's like they then hook up, which honestly, I love the trope A of Hawaii and B like wedding hookup type stuff. So I'm kind of into this. If they have like a book version, I'm all about reading it, honestly.
Hmm.
So that's my recommendation, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we've had like this is like the first good book in a while.
Yes. Yes.
Like actual like, like fiction book.
Yeah.
I'm
I
happy
com-
about it. I
I
was good. I
completely
was like,
agree.
yeah, this feels nice. And like reading like
Yes.
since we're reading like Eat Pray Love right now, like it's also like obviously like her life is sad because she just got out of a divorce, like whatever. But like I'm liking like her story as well so far.
So next week we are reading Eat, Pray, Love. We wanted to do a memoir, and it's like a classic memoir, so we're
Yeah.
kind of doing that.
And other
Yeah,
memoirs are just so long.
they're long, and I feel like this one's like fun. It's almost like a memoir nonfiction ish. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it is
It is
a memoir.
nonfiction. Memoirs are under the
Oh,
nonfiction category.
sorry. It's
Yes.
like a fiction, like what I'm saying. It's like written like a story, basically, is what I was trying to say. Um,
Which
but
we will go into because there's a reason for the why it's
yeah,
written that way, which
yeah.
I thought was super creative, like
So creative.
so
Yeah,
good.
we'll rant about this next week for sure. Basically, long story short, I think we're on a new kick. I feel like we like this book.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it was just
I want to keep
fun.
reading like fun, lightweight, fucking cool
Yes,
books.
yes, this was what I needed. And honestly, like I said, like I feel like this did it for us.
Yeah.
Like again, it wasn't a 5 star, it didn't blow me out of the water, but I was like I
I
enjoyed
was
myself
happy
the
with
whole
it.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like Eat Pray Love I'm following so far I'm like a third of the way through and I'm feeling good vibes.
Yeah.
So I love it. And also, this thing is literally only an audiobook, so I'm going to probably just listen to it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Let me know how it is.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys know next week. I'm going to listen to it, why not? And I'll count it as a book.
Cheater.
All right, I am a cheater. It's okay. I'm behind my Goodreads goal. Sorry.
Bad. No, I can't fucking speak English.
Mhm.
Speak it English. Wow. Okay, Hallie. I surpassed my goal, which I knew I was gonna do anyways. I kind of set the bar low this year, but
I did too, and I'm not passing it, but it's okay. I'll try my best. All right. So next week we will see you guys for Eat, Pray, Love. And while it's being published, we will be away. So we're gonna like kind of read a fun book together while we're away that fits the like main fisherman vibes. So that'll be but
mm-hmm.
that I also feel like you might like that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't.
Yeah. I think we just need happiness. So I
Seriously.
hope I hope this book made you guys as happy as it made us, because we really just feel so happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I feel good. All
I've got
right.
good feelings.
Good feelings. This is gonna be a beautiful, fun summer. Just summer of fun, guys.
I'm feeling those good vibrations.
I don't know what you were saying at first, and I couldn't figure out how to dance, but
Is
I
that the
got it.
Beach Boys?
Yeah. Beach Boys summer. All right, friends. Well, we will
Anyways,
see you
next week.
next week. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. once a week. So we'll see you next week for Eat, Pray, Love. Let's go eat some pasta.
And pray and love.
All right, bye.
Bye.